Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a weekly gaming news show, the podcast where two seasoned video game veterans talk about the gaming news that happened over the last week. We have a guest with us today. He's a fighting game enthusiast. He's actually a video game developer. I call him Sensei, but you can call him Mountlover. What's going on, Mountlover? What's up? You doing?
Good to be on. It's good to be on again. How's it going?
It's been a while.
It's been a while since we had you on, so we're very excited. We actually have stories tailored to your liking, so we hope you enjoy your stay here. It's episode 60. It is August the 6th, and it's another Sunday, which means we got news that we want to talk to you about. So, without further delay, let's go ahead and get into our patented weekly icebreaker. And if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's just a segment of the podcast where we take a question or concept and just go over it to see where we are on that particular subject. And this week, we are going to ask the question, what do you prefer, PC or console? And Mountlover, as our guest for this week, we are going to allow you to go first. So, what is your preference, PC or console? I already know the answer, but you can let me
go ahead and preface this with a little bit of my history in gaming. So, I grew up on the Super Nintendo, a great console, and then I moved on to I sort of skipped a bit of a generation, and my next console after that was a PlayStation 2, and I consider those two to be like the two the two greatest consoles of all time in terms of game lineups, and in terms of I feel like the Super Nintendo was like the generation that mastered like 2D graphics, and I feel like the PlayStation 2 was the generation that like really hit the nail on the head in terms of 3D graphics.
Yeah, it's a very strong argument.
And I feel like those two were were consoles that brought something unique to the table. And I think that ever since that PS2 generation, there's just been no reason to get another console, because ever since that generation, my PC has filled the gap for every game that I wanted. And even after that generation, PCs got to the point where you could emulate all the previous generations. Sure. And it was like, so ever since then, I've been a hardcore PC gamer, not because I have anything against consoles, but just because I find PC to be infinitely more convenient.
Yeah, and I personally know the real reason why you stopped getting consoles, because of Enter the Matrix on PlayStation 2. It just like destroyed everything. It just destroyed everything.
That just me to gaming for a little bit. I got Enter the Matrix. I was at a GameStop and I was like, should I get Enter the Matrix or Devil May Cry 2? They both look pretty similar based on the box art. I was like, you know what? Let's go with Enter the Matrix. I feel like I'll really not regret this purchasing decision. Didn't buy another video game for years.
Yeah. So. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know. There's a give and take with both. I believe, when you get a console, the main thing in mind is convenience. It's the convenience factor. You may pay a lot more money, especially with the modular upgrades or the next iteration of the console or whatever. But you're doing the same thing with your PC as well. You have to get new graphics cards. You have to get more memory. You have to keep up with it. My thing is when you go into the intricacies or whatever of the PC version, I think that is where the consoles may excel, because everything's kind of streamlined. Like, it's going to run the exact same on every single version of that console or whatever. Like the Xbox One version runs like this, but
or at least that used to be the case as of a few months ago.
Yeah, as of a few months ago. So I don't know. It's all about convenience. I personally don't have a grudge or personal preference. I mean, if there's a game that I want and it's like $5 cheaper on PC, I'll get it on PC. Like, I will say that I'm not a keyboard mouse kind of guy. Like, I play on PC with a controller, but like, platform is a platform. I mean, I'm all about the games. I don't really take too much into account what the console is. Like, if Splatoon wasn't on the Switch, I wouldn't have a Switch. Like, I'll just put it like that. What about you, Todd?
Well, I have a bit of a history too, but I used to be a PC gamer. So after probably about the PS2, towards the end of PS2, I started playing on PC. I didn't actually get back into console gaming until online really became a thing towards the end of the OG Xbox and starting of Xbox 360 and PS3 generations. But as it stands now, I prefer consoles simply because of the convenience. I don't have to worry about when I get the game. I know the game I get, I'm going to run at its best specs as opposed to PC. I may be able to run it at the highest specs, at the highest frame rate or not, depending on my setup. So, I mean, that is mainly the only reason. Other than that, I mean, I do have a PC that I can game on, have controls and all the good stuff. I just like the convenience of sitting back on my couch. I like the big screen and using the controller and knowing when I buy the game, it's going to run the best that game can, without me having to make any changes to it. Yeah. And like Yama said, it has changed a bit, but I mean, that's my main reason.
Yeah. So yeah, same here. Just the convenience of, not having to worry about like the specifics when it comes to like each and every individual games, because I was having some issues yesterday with PC games.
Yeah, in all honesty, there hasn't been any convenient way to play video games since those days of the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 2. Ever since then, like it's just gotten so muddled. Like playing games on PC has never been simple. But it's the kind of thing that if you put the time into it and you get it working, that's like it's a masterful experience that you can have if you actually if you're willing to devote the time to build a PC and make sure you get everything working at its optimal specs.
No, but I can agree with that 100%. They have been making consoles a lot harder or not necessarily harder, but a lot less convenient for people.
We weave you the tale of when we brought a PlayStation 4 and a copy of Street Fighter 5 to our hotel room at Evo.
Oh,
you know how long it took to update so that we could actually start playing the game? I don't know. It only counts up to 99 hours.
Yeah.
That's the hotel Wi-Fi. That's not PlayStation.
Well, yeah, but still, that wasn't a thing in the past.
Wi-Fi. We tried it on everybody's 3G and 4G off of their phones tethered to it, and then we also tried it off of like the hotel's premier Wi-Fi, which you had to pay extra to get access to, and none of them could notch it below 99 plus hours.
Yeah,
it was just awful.
Bad.
Like
it was pretty bad. I think we left it on, went to like Guilty Gear Finals, and came back, and it was done. But yeah, so I agree with both of you on that. I'm kind of like in the middle. I don't have a personal preference. It's all about the games to me. But I do like the convenience factor of what used to be the convenience factor of the PC. But yeah, that was our weekly icebreaker. You can submit questions to us via our social media. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Let us know what you think. If you want to ask us a question, we'll be more than happy to answer it. So reach out to us and use the hashtag weekly icebreaker. And your question may be featured live on the podcast. That would be super awesome. And with that said, we can go ahead and move into our next segment, which is going to be the quick hits. Now, the quick hits are short stories that, came up during the week. Don't necessarily deserve a deep dive like the top 5 stories, but we want to talk to you guys about it anyway. So our first story is Street Fighter related, and we have our patented Street Fighter freaking like expert here to analyze what just went down in the FGC lately.
What happened?
What the heck happened? Okay, so would you like to take this story, Mountlover?
Yeah, I sure. Yeah, I'd love to take the story. So what happened over the weekend was so you got Punk, who's widely considered to be the strongest Street Fighter player in all of North America, if not one of the strongest players in the world, who everybody thought was unstoppable this entire season up until Evo came around and he was put in his place by Takedo.
I like that term, put in his place. That's very accurate.
And one thing about Punk is that he's an extremely talented player, but he's very young. He's also very cocky, and a lot of he likes to pop off in matches. He likes to sort of taunt his opponent by teabagging. And one thing that not a lot of people know about him watching him play is that he'll actually he'll get in his head by playing in a certain. He'll get in his opponent's head by playing in a certain way. So you've got a huge advantage, and you've got like a combo that can kill. Punk will purposefully do an unintentional reset, like just completely give you another chance, and then completely shut you down. He'll do this multiple times to opponents that he doesn't really respect in the middle of a match. So he'll already have the victory. He'll give you another chance, and then he'll take it away from you.
Yeah.
And he loves doing stuff like that. He'll intentionally waste meter, or like he'll intentionally save meter for no reason. Like just stuff like that you can tell he's not making a mistake because he's doing it with so much conviction. He's just doing it to get into his opponent's head. And so he likes that kind of psychological warfare. But at the same time, he's really young, And it's those people that dish it out the hardest that often have the hardest time taking.
Yeah, so he can dish it, but he cannot take it. And I don't want to show the entirety of the match, but I do want to show this 30-second clip that was clipped off of Twitch. So we're going to go into that really quickly. I just want you guys to be able to see what went down. Give me 1 second.
What you guys are about to watch is actually the first of 2 sets that these guys ran.
This is the second set.
This is the second set.
It's grand finals. Yeah, because go ahead and explain.
Okay, so Punk and IDOM met each other. IDOM is another just as young, if not younger, I think, Laura player. By the way, Street Fighter V, a game where it's very hard to react, and so a lot of times you find the strongest players being exceptionally young. You've got Knuckle Dude, you've got Punk, and now you've got IDOM. Takedo is the exception. He's one of the old man crew.
Yeah.
But so these two met at this tournament in top 8, and everybody was expecting Punk to win. This was expected to be a clean sweep for Punk. This was expected to be an easy tournament for him to have under his belt because he's just such a talented player. And he met up against IDOM, who plays Laura, who is a huge mix-up heavy character, which means a lot of times you make one tiny mistake against Laura, you end up having to do a coin flip to make sure that you guess right to get out of the situation, and then another coin flip on top of that to make sure that you guess right for the second mix-up that they've got behind that first mix. It's a really frustrating situation to put yourself in. And if this was like a close set, I'd be willing to say, okay, yeah, like IDOM plays Laura, you never know what's going to happen with a 50-50 character. But no, this was not just a 3-0, this was a 6-0. These two met in top 8. IDOM won all 3 matches clean. They met each other again in grand finals, and then IDOM from winner's bracket made another clean 3-0 sweep, or as we call it in the FGC, a free-0.
A free-0.
A free-0. And he ended the last match with a perfect. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The last match of grand finals ended it with a perfect.
Yeah, and it was pretty bad. Like when he dropped Punk into losers, he went to shake his hand and he got absolutely no response from
no response. And even once he beat him in grand finals, he held out the hand again right in his face, and Punk didn't even look him in the eye. He just slapped his hand and got up and got away.
Yeah, that guy he got away from that one. It was a pretty commanding display from IDOM, taking his very first tournament. I think his first major. I think his only other major tournament was EVO 2017.
And so there's actually a lot of history between the scenes that these two guys come from, because so IDOM comes from the East Coast scene, or the NLBC, the next level battle circuit scene. And there was I don't remember what the occasion was, but there was the famous tournament. I think it might have been like Evo pools or something like that last year, where quote Punk NLBC is free. And it's interesting for him to say that, because I think he's like Florida, so he's technically East Coast as well. So that was him shunning sort of like that side of that scene. That was him shunning it, like, I'm not a part of you guys, I'm above you guys. And so for IDOM, who grew up in that scene and is like initially seen as one of the up and comers in that scene, to come and just completely just annihilate him like that.
He just destroyed the runner-up to EVO 2017. Like that's pretty crazy in your first major. That's pretty crazy.
I don't know. Maybe a chink in the arm. It seems like to me, Punk can't handle the pressure, because he wilted. And
he buckled, man. He buckled,
and he wilted here too.
So the one common thing that I noticed, because I analyze this dude like there's no tomorrow. Like he plays my main, and he's one of the top NA players. Like I can't not analyze all of his matches. And one thing I noticed between both this loss and his loss versus Takedo was that up until now he's coasted on sort of his raw talent, which is why he can afford to do stuff like, intentional resets, unnecessary resets, like unnecessary meter saving in the middle of a match and still get that win, because he's so virtuous of a player. He's got such ridiculous reactions that he doesn't really need to. He can just win off of that alone. Right. He'll even sometimes like pick his like sub characters versus like respected players and still like whip his opponents, even with like what for him would be inferior players. I mean inferior characters. And what kills him is that he's been coasting on that, and so he's been sort of ignoring a lot of matchup knowledge that his opponents 100% are going to have. going up against the top, what's considered to be the top player in North America. Like, they're going to know every last detail, Akuma versus Karen or Laura versus Karen. They're going to know every last trick they can use. But there's a lot of Karen-specific tech, matchup-specific tech that he could be looking up, that he's just not doing his homework.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of the reason why he's starting to plateau a little bit.
Yeah, he's one of those guys. He's relying on his skill alone.
Yeah,
physical abilities and no studying. Yeah, that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah, get you whipped, make you rage quit, get you perfected in a freaking major. That's what that's what happened
in grand finals tournament point. Perfect. That's a lot of psychological damage. That's gonna sit with him until that's gonna sit with him until Summer Jam. That's what it's gonna do. Yeah,
he'll be feeling that one for a while, as if his horrendous loss at Evo wasn't enough.
Right.
But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next story, and we have news coming from the world of Monster Hunter. Apparently, there's going to be a contest where you will be able to design your own Monster Hunter weapon for the upcoming game, Monster Hunter World. Now, this is actually something really cool and something that O would just freaking like spaz out about. O is a serious Monster Hunter player. And he's definitely hyped for this game. The only one that I actually played was the one that came out on the 3DS. I don't even remember what it's called. I wasn't too big of a fan of it. It seemed like really tedious, in my opinion. But I was super into Monster Hunter. I wish we could have had him on too, just to talk about this story. But yes. The details are on the main site for Monster Hunter. They're actually doing it in Japan and Europe and the US. Yep. So you can enter and put in your submissions and have a chance to have your designed weapon in the final game.
Yep, in the game. Yep. The design has to include a picture, a description, and that's pretty much it. Just a short description, picture, and a name has to be on the image, and on your entry, and you have until August 16th at like 9 p.m. Pacific to submit your entry. And good luck. Yeah,
good luck to everybody. I mean, there's a lot of like talented artists out there. I'm pretty sure there's like a campaign or something going on Twitter right now. But I can't wait to see some of these like weapons, because the Monster Hunter series is very detailed. I mean, they've been making these games for a long time, and one thing that you can say about them, like even in the 3DS versions, like the worlds are like lush and beautiful, and the areas are massive, and there's a lot of different weapons and weapon types that you can use in that series. So to give the fans an opportunity to put their creation into the game is nothing but a good thing. So I can't wait to see some of the designs. I'm pretty sure there's a hashtag that might be going on, but it's actually pretty cool. I can't wait to see what comes of it.
See what comes up. Yeah,
this is a very cool idea. That like we've seen stuff like this before. Like you'll see like mods, user created content end up coming into the full game in some cases. And then one common situation is you'll see like for games that have been kickstarted, they'll have some of the supporters design some of the in-game NPCs or items or stuff like that. So this is kind of a cool idea. I'm not sure. Like from the developer's perspective, I'm not sure. Like it'll result in one cool weapon in the game and like maybe some good PR. But I feel like from a developer's perspective, there's a lot to be said about user created content, and there's like a gold mine that if you know how to tap it right, then you can end up doing a lot less work and have a lot better of a product.
But
because
this is
I feel like it's a waste to just have one design from all the talent that they're probably going to receive and put that in the game.
This isn't the first time they've done it. They have experience. They did it with it looks like Monster Hunter 4. They had a user created content contest where the weapon got into the game. So it's not the first time. So they have some experience. I don't know if maybe at some point, even if you don't win, you get your weapon might get in the game anyhow. I've seen stuff like that happen before as well.
Yeah. My thing is they probably have like a few parameters. Like it has to be within like a certain like weapon type. Like you can have like a katana or dual swords, or like a Buster Sword or something like that. So I don't.
My impression is actually that this is going to be one of a limited number of weapon types. It says you wanted to create one original design for one of the 14 weapon types.
Yeah,
so you're not just creating a weapon.
Right.
You're creating a weapon type.
Okay. Right.
So that means that you can design completely out of the box. You can create like gun, blade, car vehicles. It does
gun, blade, car. Hell yeah.
Completely buck wild. God knows what they're going to submit, but
yeah. So that's actually pretty cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the next story. And Overwatch is back. I'm sorry, I skipped one. Niantic is back in the news. With more Pokemon Go fiascos.
Hey, that's a relevant game. Hey, you guys, who's still playing Pokemon Go, you guys?
Apparently, millions of people that travel to go to parks and not be able to play. If you heard about the issue, was a couple. Was it last week or the week before?
Yeah, with the Pokemon Go Fest or whatever.
Yeah. So apparently they had more scheduled. They had them scheduled for August 5th, which was yesterday, in Copenhagen and Prague, and August 12th, which is next Saturday, in Stockholm and Amsterdam. So they've postponed those particular events. They pushed them back to the fall. There's no other details. They specifically said it has nothing to do with the debacle in Chicago, which has spawned a lawsuit.
Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with when we invited 1 million people out to one place to play the game. No, this is a completely irrelevant decision.
Yeah, just a coincidence. Yeah. But they said it's not going to affect the events they have scheduled in Germany, Japan, Spain, or France.
Until it does.
Right.
I don't know. This is just par for the course with these guys, man.
These locations and these areas failed the stress test. That's 100% what happened.
This is just par for the course when it comes to Niantic and these like big major events. I mean, people have been anticipating these, and they have yet to be able to pull it off successfully.
Pokemon Go barely works when you got one person in a city. I don't understand why they think they can pull these off.
It barely works when you got one person. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with it because like we stated before, a lot of the initial steam from the first year of the game has definitely fallen off. So everybody that's currently playing has either they're the diehard fans. They're the ones that are spending the money. They're the ones that are keeping the game alive. So when you can't satisfy, when you can't satisfy the people that are legitimately like playing the game,
right?
Like that says something, man.
And to put it in perspective, I remember last summer there was hundreds of millions of people playing. Niantic released numbers saying there's something about 65 million monthly active users that still play Pokemon Go. I mean, that's a ton of people.
That is.
For any way you count it, that's more players than PlayStation has. There's more players than Xbox has. So I mean, that's still a ton of people. So obviously they're raking in the dough. There are tons of people still playing it.
They could be stretching what counts as an active user, but yeah, that is still a lot of people.
True.
Monthly active users of logs in one time, once a month. Once a month is essentially what it is. But I mean, it's still. I mean, even if you take about 10% of that, it's about 6 million people that would be playing maybe on a daily basis. So I'm sure they have a pretty large, a large player base, dedicated large player base. And they just need to get their stuff fixed. They
need to get it together because
honestly,
although I do,
what they need to do is create a new game. That's what they need to do.
No, they're making tons of money.
They're making tons of money, and like the last time that they failed during the Go Fest in Chicago, they just ended up giving away the legendaries, just as like it didn't work out. So
they gave everybody their money back. They gave them
because there was you had to enter.
They gave them in-store credit. So I mean, they did actually try to do right by the people. It's just that doesn't satisfy the time wasted, the travel time.
Yeah.
Plane tickets if you flew from wherever you're from to Chicago. So
hey man, it's all about them Articunos, man. We needs them Articunos. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully their next event goes by smoothly. But let's go ahead and jump into the next story. Boogie, you want to take this one?
Yeah, my favorite game.
Hey.
Not really, but Overwatch's summer event is returning this year. Last year they had an Olympic themed event. It added a mode called Lucio Ball, where it's like basically playing soccer with a bunch of Lucios in Overwatch. But it's coming back. People complained about it last year because the skins were hard to get. They were super expensive, and outside of the events, most times there's no way to get the skins, but you'll be able to get the skins from last year at discounted prices. There's new skins and new cosmetics to get. Is running from this Tuesday, which is August 8th through the 29th.
Okay, so did you get a chance to participate in the one that went on last year?
I don't remember. I might have.
Yeah, I definitely didn't. But the costumes looks cool. Like
Right.
I like the outfits. Like, Zarya's my favorite character, so she looks pretty dope.
You and Zarya.
I love her, man. She's good.
She's real good now. The Graviton Surge, people start raging on that now
Yeah,
because they can't. They used to be able to get out. They can't get out of it anymore.
so good, man. I need to get back on that game.
Yep.
But so it's going down.
Starting this Tuesday.
Okay.
Going for 3 weeks through the 29th.
Cool.
The last year skins are half price, so normally they're about 6,000 in-game currency. I forgot what they call it now. There'll be 3,000, and 1,000 for it's like legendary epic. Legendaries are 3,000 and epics are 1,000, as opposed to like normally 6,000 and 2,500. I think is usually what it is.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, maybe we'll get in on some of that. That'd actually be pretty fun thing to stream.
Oh, and
Give me
also
the incentive to play it.
on a side note, if you're a Twitch Prime user, don't forget to log in to get your five free loot boxes.
Yep. Get those Twitch loot crates.
Oh yeah, loot crates. I haven't opened a single one of those in the entire of the year that I've had Twitch Prime.
Yeah. I think I may have used one. I don't remember. I think it was like a free game, but then I downloaded it and then I didn't like it, so I was like, "Fuck this."
So he's like, "Hey, here's this extra additional content for these games you don't play." I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I've used one for Overwatch and I used one for basketball, but that's it.
That's about it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. What we got?
Battlefield 1 is bringing a community test environment to consoles, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So it's basically a test server for updates, balanced updates, new maps, and add weapons and such. It's a 40 gig download. You have to own the game. Yeah, you have to own the game, and you have to be a premium pass holder. So you had to buy the premium pass, which is like $50 itself.
Oh man, that's Lord, that sucks.
So if you want to participate, you have to have the premium pass. You have to have the game, the full version of the game. Just go into the menu. There's an option for you to go ahead and just grab that CTE file. It's separate from any of the playlists, separate from the production servers. So you're not worried about any of that progress or non-progress.
Yeah, and this is actually the first time that it's going to be on consoles. They've had this on PC before. For Battlefield 4, they've had they did that on PC, but this will be the first time for consoles. So that's actually pretty cool. You just got to have everything. Right. I don't like that.
Yeah. The premium the requirement for the premium pass I think is a little bit heavy-handed, but.
I think they just wanted they wanted an actual closed beta for actual testing purposes instead of marketing, and that was just the fastest way they could think of, the easiest way they could think of to actually get a limited number of
weeding people
player
out.
base.
Yeah, that's true. And the people that have the premium pass are more likely to be more diehard players too.
Yeah, if they actually just wanted people to spend extra money, they could have very easily said buy the CTE pass and then you can join the CTE. Then that would have been an obvious show.
Yeah. You're right about that.
Absolutely 100%. Right. I'm with that insight. All right, let's go on. Move on to the our next story and our last quick hit. NBA Live is in the news again, and it's not because it's non-existent. Nope, it's
been canceled again.
It hasn't been canceled, not yet.
The day before release.
Yeah, so it's still a thing, but they're going to be adding the WNBA teams to the game, similar to the way that the FIFA game added the female soccer teams. This is actually pretty good. But it's kind of like this is what we expected. I mean, you did it in FIFA, so like, why not do it in basketball?
Right.
I feel like why didn't you do it earlier? Is what
that's what I was about to say. I feel like this should have been something that happened like years ago.
Years ago, exactly. I mean, the WNBA has been around for 20 years now. I didn't know that. I feel extra old now, but I remember when they were first starting it. But yeah, it's been around for 20 years. So I mean, the only other time there's been women basketball players, women professional players was and NBA Street game, NBA Street, and the NBA Street Home Court. That was like 2006.
Yeah, that was the
did
bad
Street
one.
Volume 1 and 2 not have female players? Really? They
I
had aliens but no
don't-
females? Is that really?
Yeah, I was like, I
magma
don't really.
people, but not females. Is that really what we're coming to in the basketball environment? All right.
Yeah,
all right.
man.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but that was the only other time, and it was only a select player. It was like Lisa Leslie and Rebecca.
The All
Shell
Stars,
Swoops, right? And
the
this is
ones
gonna
that
be-
you know.
right. This is full teams, full rosters, full league. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, it's long overdue, like Yama was saying, and you were saying, it's way long overdue. But it's something that hadn't been done before. It's cool that it's happening. You get some of
it
that
is.
Brittany Grant action on.
Yeah, definitely something. A lot of I don't know. Like, what is
I don't know why it is, but the female barrier is always the last barrier to be broken. Like
Right.
it's always like, oh yeah, we finally overcome all of our prejudices, and then 18 years later, oh yeah, and women can do it now too.
Yeah, for this to be the first basketball game to have like the entire like WNBA league, and it seems kind of like really like.
Right.
Like if you think back on it, you would have thought like this would have happened like a long time ago.
Long time, exactly. Even especially back 20 years ago, was that in the 90s where people were just throwing games at consoles. Somebody would have made a WNBA game just to see if it would stick, right?
Yeah, like who would refuse like somebody trying to buy those rights? Like, oh, I'm sorry, we're holding on to these WNBA rights for the real big money to come along. Like, I'm sorry,
Right.
Like,
And
that has to have been an easy IP to get your hands on.
Like
Like,
NBA owns the rights, so you deal. If you're making an NBA game, you can easily move over to and discuss that with them. It's not like you gotta get in contact with a whole nother organization. It's
maybe
NBA,
they were worried about
NBA.
maybe they're worried about cross pollinating. Maybe they're worried about like creating some kind of like a competitor to their own product, like oversaturating their own market. If they own both,
I mean,
IPs,
they come up with the
only
game every
one.
fucking year. Like, I don't know how it can be any more oversaturated than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's oversaturated, but it's not competing with anything, literally anything.
Well, yeah, this will be the first time in a few years that there's actually a competing basketball game on the market. NBA 2K has been running the show for quite some time, and NBA Live, canceled their last few attempts at making a basketball game.
I'm still on the fence because the last time NBA Live game was supposed to be coming out, they released the demo, and about 2 weeks after the demo came out, and I think about 2 weeks before the game was supposed to be released, they canceled the whole game. So
it's canceled all of it.
until I see this in the marketplace or on the store shelf, is vaporware.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying is that women still may be another 18 years before
Yeah.
they find themselves in a basketball game. Is what you're saying? We can't put that nail in the coffin yet.
So that was our quick hits. Let us know what you guys think about this story or any of the stories that we discussed in the quick hits. Leave us a comment on YouTube. Leave us a comment or hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you are consuming this media. Let us know what you think. Debate us. We would love to discuss these stories with you.
Also, if you're somehow consuming this media from anywhere that is not the places that he listed, let us know how. We want to tap that market. We want to tap like the radio behind the dumpster file. Market.
Yeah, man. We need that.
How we got to you and how we can continue getting to people through those avenues.
Yeah, we definitely need that. Thank you, Mountlover, for making that clear to everybody. We're gonna move on to our next segment, but before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, the New Challenger Discord and New Challenger TV. If you head over to newchallenger.gg, you can get a lot of information on your favorite character in either Street Fighter 5 or Injustice 2, with a lot more games coming down the line. I'm on the website right now, newchallenger.gg. I'm going to click on Street Fighter, and as you can see, they have tons of information on every single character, from basic tutorials all the way down to advanced techniques. And they also have the coaches available for each and every character that specializes in that character. So for Ken, we have who's this? Din Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
Yeah.
Din Lee is
Our
the
resident
Kin
coach.
and Guile specialist. You can see his information here. You can also see his training schedule and his training style. And if you want to get good with Kin, like I'm trying to do, I might actually hit Mr. Din Lee up very soon. This is the perfect place for you to get all that information. So that's newchallenger.gg. join the Discord because it is a vast and very active community filled with a lot of cool people. And shout out to Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the Discord channel. And we have Mr. Mountlover here with us today. He is a coach for the North American and sometimes EU Street Fighter V tournaments, and he also dabbles in the Injustice and Tekken tournaments as well.
We support Street Fighter V, Injustice 2, and Tekken 7. We're planning on moving along to when they get released, Dragon Ball Fighters Z and Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, and possibly even Marvel Infinite. Capcom really wants us to support that. They're really trying to push that down everybody's throats. So if there's enough interest for that, we might join. We might also pick that one up. But so yeah, go ahead and join the Discord.
Yes, join the Discord.
Just do it. Just do it, man.
Just do it. Yeah, just do it.
Just do it, man. Just do it.
And this time you can let them know that Mountlover sent you, because every time they go in there, they're like, "Yeah, TrueSonic said this was a cool, but get out, get the hell out, get out of here." No. So let them know that Mountlover sent you.
I should also let you guys know that we'll starting in exactly 2 weeks from now. We'll be hosting our first tournament for our North America underdogs for season 3. So yeah, if you want to learn Street Fighter and or improve at Street Fighter and see where you stack up against the rest of our underdogs, then that's the perfect time to do it. The week after Summer Jam.
Week after Summer Jam, and we'll have the schedule listed in the description and in the show notes for you guys once it's made available. The full schedule. So let's go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is our top 5 news story. And first up, I'm just gonna nerd out for a second, okay? Because Sonic Mania is in the news. Holy shit. Oh my god. They have shown off the special stages. The special stages are reminiscent of a few games, most notably freaking Sonic R and the Sega Saturn version of Sonic 3D Blast, with Sonic having like the really weird like polygon model and everything. It's really cool. They also showed off the bonus stages, which are more reminiscent of the classic series with the Blue Sphere mini game, and they also showed off the ability to do a time trial. There's going to be a time trial mode with various ways for you to like restart. Like you can quick reset, like on the fly. So if you like make a mistake, I guess you just press a button command, and then you can just reset and then start from the beginning. And in order to like get good at your favorite level, it's actually pretty freaking interesting. And they're just, oh my god, this game is gonna be so much freaking fun. I can't wait for it to come out. It's looking like
it's gonna be the best Sonic game since Sonic and the Secret Rings. It's really looking like that.
Oh my fucking god, it's the Secret Rings, really?
It's gonna be quite the Sonic game.
No, but I'm really excited about
Twitch.tv/TrueSonic if you want to see TrueSonic 100% completing Sonic the Secret Rings.
No, I'm not gonna do that, and I'm gonna ban you. No, I'm just kidding. No, but if you haven't noticed, I've said this on the podcast before. I'm currently wrapping up the countdown to Sonic Mania. I just uploaded a update video explaining the details on how you can win and when the giveaway is going to go down. So I'm really excited. I've been waiting for this game for quite some time, and it seems almost unreal that it's actually coming out. Like this is going to be a thing, and with the game being in terms of length is just as long, if not longer, than Sonic 3 and Knuckles. This is going to be something that I'm going to be playing for quite some time. I can't wait to get my hands on it. It looks amazing. But yeah, that's enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and move into the next story. Boogie, why don't you go ahead and take this one?
League of Legends is going to be having a reality show down. This is going to be in Australia. It's not. I don't know if you probably can VPN and catch it somewhere on a stream or something. But down in Australia, they're going to be having a League of Legends reality show. Basically, what it is, it's going to start off with 40 players. It gets whittled down to 10, where these 10 people will be moved into a house to compete in daily and weekly challenges, playing some top teams in the Oceanic region. And it is whittled down to 5 players where they'll play a pro team in the Oceanic region, and eventually a winner would be crowned. The winner wins $10,000 and a spot on the League of Legends pro team. in Australia.
I have to read this flyer. Spawning soon, the next gamer. Are you Australia's next esports star? We're on the lookout for League of Legends guns. One lucky player will win $10,000 and a contract with one of Australia's biggest esports teams. I love it. It's just
yeah, I don't know.
For some reason, when you said a League of Legends reality show, what came into my mind was a League of Legends sitcom where it's just all the League of Legends characters like living under one roof with like laugh tracks, like oh.
Nah, the first thing that came to my mind was like a version of like that old MTV show Real World, except like the requirements for getting in isn't being like slender and sexy, is being like a fucking nerd. Like those are the requirements.
Like the tester.
Yeah, with the tester. Yeah, that was bad.
That's probably what it's gonna be like. I can't see us going anywhere other than bad, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but as of right now, it's only in Australia. So
40 players compete online over 5 days to win one of the coveted 10 spaces in the next gamer house. I don't know what that means.
Next gamer house. Yeah.
Next gamer house. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. I mean, we've been saying for, quite some time that esports is like, where the money is. A lot of people are trying to jump into this. I think this is jumping a little too far.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's a better bridge.
Not where the money is.
now they're trying to go too far. I mean, I think it's just
they're just in trying to incorporate like esports into every other form of media.
It's one thing to have a competition, like a game a match, a couple of matches, be it League of Legends, be it Street Fighter or Rocket League or whatever. But something like this, I don't see where the entertainment value is.
Yeah, I mean, the esports scene is growing in every direction except this one.
Yeah. Are they gonna have the infrared lights at night watching these dudes sleep? Well, I mean,
no, they're gamers. They're not gonna be sleeping. They're gonna be playing at night. Yeah. And you're not gonna need the infrared cams when they sleep.
Yeah, I don't know, because there are currently like reoccurring like weekly televised shows based on video games. Me and Mountlover, we actually watched a couple episodes of the Street Fighter one during the Pro Tour, and it was pretty cool. It was kind of like a recap of what was going on during the week, and they had like interviews and stuff like that. So there does seem to be like interest there for video games on TV. But this ain't it. No. Reality show, I hate reality shows as they are. Like I don't.
Reality shows are already kind of. I mean,
they're already bad.
A thriving market. I guess they must be. They're just like, I don't know. That's just like the stain that's never going to go away from TV.
Reality shows are big because they're so cheap to produce. That's why you see a lot of reality shows. It costs next to nothing to produce, and they earn a lot. They make a lot of money. It's a high margin type show. But as far as quality entertainment, I don't know any reality show that fits that description.
Yeah, no.
You know what's hilarious is that like the premise here, it's supposed to be something big, like, oh yeah, the show called The Next Gamer, we'll see them duke it out for a contract with our best League of Legends team, and get this, $10,000. Let's move on to our next story, shall we?
Yeah,
let's talk about the international. Let's talk about the actual biggest thing in esports right now that's going on, and let's talk about how their prize pool is almost $24 million. Yeah. That is a massive prize pool, the largest that's ever been seen in any esports event.
And they actually
since the last international of last year.
Yeah, and that was 20 million.
That was 20.7 million.
Yeah, they beat it by like 25%, almost 25% more. That's amazing. It's amazing. That's
a massive event. I wish that I wish that I cared about Dota 2, because then I could be as hyped for this as like 500,000 people seem to be.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like these are some massive freaking crowds, man. You there ain't no lying about these like crowd sizes, man. Like people turn out for the Dota 2.
If you know what the peak viewership rate on Twitch.tv is, it's Dota 2. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that number of like 500,000 something viewers came from the last year's international.
Last year's international, right? And it's continuing to grow. I mean, it's common. Twitch is commonly the number one streaming game on Twitch. I've seen it like streaming high on like Mixer and other gaming services too. I don't even know why, but
I don't get it.
I try to watch it, and it's not interesting to me. I just don't like that genre of game. But yeah, I mean, this right here is where the money is at. I mean, a $20 million prize pool. We talked about Overwatch and their league and their franchise buy-ins, but they're not giving away $20 million to the players.
Even when you split that amongst all of the participants, that's gonna be at least $10 million for the first place prize. That's a chunk of cash.
Yeah,
that's something you could shake a stick at.
Exactly. And that is why Dota 2 is the most popular stream game right now, because everybody wants to play, because everybody wants a piece of that pie. Because even if you don't play super high, if you place in the money, and the money is going to be a significant chunk of change.
Oh man, the International breaking its own records that were set by them. Like Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. I wish we can get to. I mean, I want to see other games and other game genres try to start to break into those kinds of numbers, because right now, like, you and I just came from Evo, and that's the biggest event in the fighting game community, but that's a pittance compared to this. That's right. Like, we'd be lucky to hit 10% of this prize pool. Like,
I think I don't see that really happening, because a lot of these other ones, like the Street Fighter game, Street Fighter, Overwatch, what's another one? Rocket League is another big one that's been shown, like the Madden tournaments. Those are really being the publishers and the publishers are really trying to maintain strong control of that. And if they go and maintain strong control of it, like Valve kind of let the international Dota go on its own and build its own community, where the publishers for like Activision and EA, they're trying to build the community for their esports games. And if they're doing it, they're not going to put as much money into it.
Well, the International is hosted by Valve, so they know what they're doing. Valve knows what they're doing when it comes to esports.
It's hosted, but they put their name behind it and they put some investment in it, but they let it grow on its own.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's not the Valve like Pro Tour,
so
like the Steam
the
Pro Tour.
The scene did actually spawn without any of Valve's consent.
Right.
And I actually mean it when I say consent, because originally Dota was not a Valve game. It was a mod for another game. Like, Dota was not a game. It was a mod. And I don't remember what engine it was in. But it was a mod for another game. And there was a huge scene behind this game, but like there was no developer publisher to speak of to like really capitalize on. That's why League of Legends became a thing, because League of Legends was created by Riot to sort of fill that niche. It's not even a niche, that market, to try and fill that market that was just craving saturation. And so League of Legends became vastly popular, and then Valve saw that and was like, hey, let's make a Dota 2 and let's actually do it right this time. And that's why we've got this market that was just waiting for years, like for this game, and then it finally comes out, and then the scene just explodes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what the publishers do with their properties. I don't see them going towards the international. They seem to be pushing more towards the traditional sports franchise and owner-player relationship versus something like this. I prefer the tournament prize pool. I think that's better. Some people prefer the owner-player model, but we'll see. I can't imagine the Overwatch League or the Rocket League esports league, or even Capcom and Evo generating this type of money, because when they get, even if they get into sponsorships, that money stays up at the top, and they just drop a few dollars down to the people that's actually drawing the crowds and drawing the sponsorships.
Right. Yeah, but we'll see. So it goes down on August the 7th.
You know what cruel irony just occurred to me through all this. So one of the biggest names in that market is of course Blizzard. Like they create like RTS games like Warcraft and StarCraft, and that's like the next closest thing. StarCraft Brood War was the next closest thing to hitting those kinds of numbers ever.
Right.
And Defense of the Ancients, Dota, the original, was created by a standalone independent developer as a mod for Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos. And so it must be hilarious to see people of Blizzard kicking themselves for not acquiring this IP, and instead Valve just comes shuffles along in and just says, "Hey, what if we took that IP off your hands?"
Right.
And now they're the biggest scene in esports.
Crazy.
Right. And I'm looking at the prize pool, and I mean, first place is over 10 million. Second place is 3. You get $1 million for sixth place.
Mm-hmm.
Down to 15th place is down to 15th. You're still in over $100,000. I mean,
down to 15th, you're still like top 4 Evo status.
Right. I mean, the money here is ridiculous. It's amazing. And man,
I mean,
good
the
luck
only
to you,
thing,
Dota guys.
Yeah, the only thing I can say right now is that Mountlover, we're gonna have to go ahead and pick up Dota and get good, so that we can get a chunk, so we can come in 15th place and get some of that cash.
StarCraft 2 for a while, which is a very similar style of game, the sort of style of like really fast-paced RTS, and that requires so much out of you. Like it's just, I could never do it.
Yeah,
The intricacies and the details, and
Ugh.
yeah, it's
a lot. But look, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. And I guess RIP. I don't know. Like I don't really know how to describe this exactly, but
I would say that's probably proper.
yeah. All right. So RIP to BioWare Montreal. They are being absorbed into EA Motive Studios, effective immediately, or effective. Immediately.
I don't think did they give a date? Yeah, I think it is.
No, it's just said that it happened. It's happened.
It's already happened.
It's already
Right.
happened.
It's happened. Yeah, they hired 100 new employees, and they're moving to a new studio in Montreal somewhere. And yeah, apparently BioWare Montreal didn't get past that debacle that was Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
They've still been supporting it. They haven't dropped support. They've still been releasing updates and such, but it didn't look good for them. And apparently, this Motive Studios has a couple of games they're working. They're busy. They're working on Battlefront 2.
Mm-hmm. And the unnamed Star Wars game being developed by Visceral. Yeah.
And then what's her name? Jade. I can't think of her last name now. She came from Ubisoft.
Oh wow, this has already happened so much that the Wikipedia article has already been updated with the fact that BioWare Montreal was merged with EA's Motive Studios in August 2017.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how much it's already happened.
But there's a third project that's being a third new IP that's being worked by I can't think of it. Her name is Jade Raymond.
Okay.
Jade Raymond. She's got a third IP that she's working on too. So they're being absorbed into EA Motive to work on all of these projects, because it seems like this Motive Studios is mad busy.
Yeah. So with them, I don't know. Like,
well, if you look at
go ahead.
If you look at the track records for both these studios, these are both pretty. They don't. It's not like they have like titles dating back to like the 90s. Like these are both pretty recent studios in the grand scheme of things. Like BioWare Montreal did what? Mass Effect Andromeda, and then like some DLC for other games. Right. And Motive Studios did Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then the only other thing that's listed is untitled Star Wars video game co-developed by Visceral Games. Not sure what that is alluding to.
Right. The Motive Games is a fairly new studio, because Jade Raymond, I want to say she's from either Ubisoft. Mm-hmm. From working on Assassin's Creed. She was a producer in Assassin's Creed, 1, 2, and the Brotherhood, I think. Mm-hmm. And she came over, and they essentially set this up for her. This studio, they set her up with the studio. They paired her with a group of people and set her up here. So I
don't want to see this as one studio like resting in peace. I want to see this as a merging between two sets of experienced developers. I don't want to say talented developers. I'm not going to give them that much credit. Two sets of experienced developers, and maybe they'll be able to create a better product by the end of the day for it.
Right. I see it as a consolidation of resources, and with the idea of ramping up development of products, because like I said, Jade Raymond has a new IP that her team is going to be working on, and then they've got the Star Wars Battlefront 2 and this other unknown Star Wars game. So I mean,
there's another big name involved here. If you notice, the design director for Motive Studios is Kim Swift, who has taken part in such games as Half-Life 2 Episode 1, Portal, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Left 4 Dead 2, Quantum Conundrum, which is a underrated little gem that Kim Swift came out with. She's definitely one. She's a person that I will put in the talented category in our current repertoire of popular game designers.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd rather see this than the studio being closed. So I wouldn't quite call this a bad news story. It's an interesting story considering, and it's interesting, and the reason that everybody picked it up, including me, is because what BioWare Montreal last worked on, which is Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
Which was supposed to be a huge hit for them, and it did well, but not as well as they wanted it to do.
Yeah,
man! Dude, Jade Raymond apparently is the master producer between such masterpieces as The Sims Online in 2002, Jeopardy, and Trivial Pursuit.
those are Ubisoft games.
I'm just looking down. These are the games that Jade Raymond was the producer for.
Yeah, she's from Ubisoft, right? She's got
she got the Assassin's Creed under her belt.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the executive producer on the first Watch Dogs game.
Watch Dogs, that's right. So, I mean, Assassin's Creed 1 was crap, but 2 was great.
2 was great.
Watch Dogs I did like. A lot of people didn't, but I did.
Oh, and Splinter Cell Blacklist, that was my jam.
Oh, yeah.
I like that game.
Yeah, so,
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, again, at the very least, like you said, Yama, she has talent behind, not experience behind some AAA type titles and projects, so we'll see where it goes.
I see. Yeah, producer Assassin's Creed, executive producer Assassin's Creed 2, executive producer Assassin's Creed Bloodlines,
Watch Dogs,
The Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, executive producer.
Watch Dogs. Don't hate on Watch Dogs.
I'm kidding. And Ubisoft Toronto, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's got some stuff under her belt. I don't. Like I said, I prefer to see this type of story as opposed to EA shuttering the studio and putting people out of work.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what they're working on next.
Yeah, I want to see.
Apparently, there's some untitled Star Wars game out there that we have to look forward to. It's probably going to be like Battlefront 3 or I don't know.
Fingers crossed, it's that Star Wars 1313 game. Remember that one that was canceled back when Disney took over LucasArts?
You know what I want to see?
What?
I want to see another KOTR.
That would actually be a good guess as to what may be on the horizon there, because that would be a perfect. If you look at the track record for Montreal, then that's the perfect talent that you want to get on that team if you want to make another KOTOR game.
Yep.
Thank you for saying that. That was a perfect. That's a perfect guess.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty dope. I wouldn't play it though.
What? You don't like KOTOR?
I never played them.
Oh,
imagine
if you like Mass Effect,
imagine a BioWare game from the Star Wars universe. That's essentially what it is.
Imagine Mass Effect using Star Wars assets.
It's actually what it is. It's Mass Effect, but it's actually with the Star Wars IP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, then all of this all of a sudden makes sense.
Now it makes all of the sense.
It makes all of the sense now. Let's go ahead and move on to the last story. What we got?
This is a gaming story, but it's also a tech story. I like this story. So, Psyonix, in this effort to clean up Rocket League, that's played mostly by like 12-year-olds, they're going to set up AI banning. So they're going to use artificial intelligence to scrape reports for specific words. They have 20 words and the variants. They didn't list what they are, but 20 words and their variants. They're going to scrape. If you get reported, they're going to pull your chat log. They're going to scrape for these words. And if you said one of these words, you are banned. It's 24, 72, 1 week, and then permanently. I think it's cool not because of the banning, the AI aspect. That's if you follow any of the tech, that is the big buzzword. AI, neural networking, and all of that.
You're right that it is a big buzzword, and because of that, people actually have to be a little bit careful when they use that word AI, because it's a lot more loaded now than it was 10, 20 years ago. Nowadays, when you say AI, what you mean is machine learning. Yeah. Whereas 10, 20 years ago, when you said AI, you could just mean anything, any kind of program that takes care of anything was an AI back then.
Right.
But nowadays, that's what we call a symbolic AI or a scripted AI.
Right.
And this exact kind of application is something that a few years ago you would have seen handled systematically. Like, okay, you say the F word and the N word like 3 times, then okay, we automatically ban you. Blah blah blah. Feed that back into the system. But like, if it's actually using some kind of actual like machine learning algorithm to figure out how these people should be punished, and like how to make informed decisions based on like previous trial and error, then that's pretty dope. Yeah. But if they're just calling it an AI and it's just going to be like typical VAC ban type of situation where you get reported this many times for this number of things, which is, I mean, this little article that we're looking at doesn't really provide you with enough detail.
Right? And when you look, when I did a search, you couldn't find much more detail on it, as specifically what they're doing. My hope is more along the line, like you're saying, is more machine learning to the point where I'm hoping it's going to go this way. It's going to start with looking at reports, and eventually, once it feeds enough reports and sees the patterns, it'll be, instead of people reporting it, it'll just be able to pick it up on the fly. So instead of you having to report me for calling you a motherfucker, it'll just say, hey, that's a bad word. He gets a 24-hour ban, and he's done it. This is his 3rd time, so he's getting 72 hours, as opposed to me having to worry about reporting it. I mean, if it's going to work that way, it'll be able to work on the fly instantly. So as soon as it happens, you get booted.
Woo.
And I would love to see more stuff like that come along. But like you said, they can't be using it as a buzzword. They need to be using it.
Yeah, time will tell if it's the real deal, if it's just like an annoying automated system like we've seen a million times before.
Yeah, because the way that you were explaining it was very similar to how a lot of more recent games will pass out the temporary ban hammer for rage quitting, stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, it's like automation can be very lazy, or it can be very smart. And depending on which option you go with, you end up pissing a bunch of people off or impressing a bunch of people.
Yeah, because there were instances where like I'll have like a disconnect or something like that. It won't necessarily be rage quitting or just backing out of a match, but I'll have like a legitimate issue, and then for that I'm like I can't play for like 20 minutes. I believe Halo 5 was very bad at that.
What's name is notorious for that? Overwatch.
Yeah.
Where you get booted, or like the countdown timer, the kick timer is super short. So if I have to get up to run to the bathroom, or my kids and my wife calls me and I need to go see what they're saying, by the time I'm back, I'm kicked, and you start getting that notification that you're minus 75%.
Yeah.
Whatever. So yeah, those automated systems can be problematic, but if it is true machine learning, it's going to be fed a ton of information and eventually be able to understand and know what to do with that information. That's definitely a step in the right direction.
Is the Rocket League community really that toxic that this needs to be something that we need to look towards next generation technology to learn how to solve? Like, is that really that big of a problem, or what's going on here?
I think the biggest problem with it is because a lot of kids play it. And if when you mix a lot of kids with a bunch of drunk college adults spewing just
any and everything,
give vitriol, it becomes a problem. It definitely becomes a problem. But I mean, all these online games like that, it's part of the reason I won't play competitive in Overwatch, because people they're out of their minds. They're nuts. They say crazy stuff, like stuff on the block that'll get you in the hospital. They sit on there, they talk super crazy. So.
Notorious is Xbox is notorious for having like the worst online like interactions.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Good old Xbox Live. Good old Xbox Live. So I can imagine they got like a bunch of complaints from probably like disheveled parents and stuff like that, and that's probably why they feel like they need to implement something like this. But what's desperately in need of something? What's desperately in need of a new machine learning type of automation that currently is semi-automated but is sucking at its job?
What's that?
Steam Greenlight. Steam Greenlight could really use
Steam Greenlight
this kind of an algorithm.
It's going away.
It's going away.
Oh, really? It's going away for good?
Yeah, we reported on that.
What's it being replaced with? I forgot what
you'll basically just have to buy into it.
Yeah, you have to pay. You have to pay to get your game.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it was on that podcast. It's not. It's getting replaced. It's not really going away.
Well, it's going away, and its
functionality is still there. It's just gonna have a brand new shiny title.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like that. It's an unsolvable problem, right? Like how do you take this giant quantity of games and without like devoting large amounts of time and resources,
right,
filter it down to just the ones that humans want to play, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that the machine learning is designed to solve.
Exactly. You have to, like you said, throw a ton of resources at it, or write a great algorithm.
Because we talked about that with the new feature coming out of Xbox for Xbox One in the indie games. We talked about that, and we also talked about how on the PlayStation Store you just have like trophy miners,
Oh yeah,
stuff like that.
Talked about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely something. Yeah, it's basically a game that like
it's a puzzle.
It's not
it's a jigsaw
platinum,
puzzle game.
Yeah, easy platinum. Yeah, those things are everywhere. Pretty crazy. And yeah, so that is our top 5 news stories. Sorry, I had a brain fart for a second, but yeah, those are our top 5 news stories. Let us know what you guys think on any of the stories that we talked about, whether it was here or in the quick hits. Let us know what you think. We would love to argue with you in the comment section. It's one of my favorite pastimes. But with that, we'll go ahead and get into the next segment, which is the long form discussion. And Todd, why don't you go ahead and introduce this long form for us?
Okay, so this week, and this is one of the main reasons we got our resident expert Yama here,
Yep.
Mountlover. With a lot of the features now, and it started a little while back with the installs, and even going back a little further with online play. How much longer until consoles and PCs have parity? When I say parity, they're never going to be graphically. They're never going to. Consoles are never going to catch up with PCs graphically and with power, because I mean you can always update your PC and fairly easily. But as far as feature set and how it actually works, I mean, I think we're pretty much there. I mean, you got to install. You have online. There's multiple versions now. When you look at PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, Xbox One, Xbox One X. So I mean, how much longer before consoles can pretty much do all of the major have all the major features of PC? And would that be a good thing or a bad thing? And how do you feel about it?
Oh man, I don't know. I've been saying for a long time that as far as the Xbox brand is concerned, these guys seem to be future proofing themselves. They seem to be going in a direction where they can have a console or not have a console, and they'll pretty much continue doing the same thing. They've introduced things like the Play Anywhere feature, where if you're on your Xbox and like, oh well, you can't use the TV or whatever, you can go to your PC and pick up right where you left off. Things like that. Just they've been creating a platform for themselves to continue on PC. And I think that's because like nobody, or at least I don't have the full confidence in this modular upgrade system. I don't know how successful it's going to be. I don't know if there's going to be a Xbox generation that is not backwards compatible, right, or does not allow for you to play an Xbox One game, or if there's going to be a PS5. Like I don't see that as a certainty at this point. We've been doing these modular upgrades. It seems like we would be taking a step backward if the PlayStation 5 came out and it wasn't compatible with the PlayStation 4 or whatever. Like I don't know. It's in terms, and like you were saying, in terms of graphics, you're never really going to catch up to PC. But right now, I think they're as comparable as they're ever going to be. So right. I don't know. It really all depends on what happens with this generation. Like what's going to come out of this generation. I think that's
I got a really funny anecdote for you. I had some family over at my house just a few weeks ago, and I had one of my little cousins over. He's 12, 13 years old, something like that. And actually no, he's even younger than that. Actually, I think he's a little bit younger than 12 years old. And so and I also had some of my aunts over, and my aunt has a kid who's also his age, like another one of my cousins that wasn't there at the time. And I was asking, I was like, hey, so what kind of console do you have? What kind of games do you play? And he was like, oh, I have an Xbox One S. And his parents were telling me about how they got him an Xbox One S, and he's on it all the time. And then my aunt chimes in like, oh, my son has an Xbox as well. And I was like, oh, so you guys could play together. And then the kid goes, well, is it an Xbox One, an Xbox One S, or an Xbox One S? And then she goes, I have no fucking clue. I don't know if you guys could play with each other. And it was at that moment that I was like, console's done fucked up. Really?
Yeah. I think that Brandon shouldn't really...
Those fucking terrible names, by the way.
The follow-up question was, and can we play together? And it's just like, I don't even know the answer to that one.
No,
they can. They can. As long as it's Xbox One, they can play together. But I think that's less of an issue. It's going to be an issue with maybe parents that don't really know, but the kids are going to know what they want, and they're going to know what they can use to play with their friends. I mean, when Billy goes to school and he wants to play with Nathan, he knows Nathan has Xbox, so he wants an Xbox. It doesn't matter if he has a 1, 1S, 1X. Doesn't matter as long as it's an Xbox One. And same with the PlayStation, right? I think where it comes in, one of the big things obviously is keyboard and mouse. That's a problem. Well, it's not supported by Xbox, not natively. I mean, you can actually hack it on. It is supported on PlayStation 4 for some games. But when you look at the consoles, I think the biggest hurdle for them is the life of the system. And I say that because with the console, anytime you want to upgrade, you got that new game. Remember a long time ago, Crysis, right? Crysis was breaking everybody's computer. Everybody needed
Crysis. That was
right.
The thing that people
Can't
said.
run Crysis, right? But the people that wanted to run Crysis, they didn't necessarily have to go out and buy a brand new rig. They can throw an extra memory module in, throw another graphics card, maybe get a SLI and set that up that way. Versus where a console is like, can I run it? No, you need a whole new console.
Yeah.
And until they get that out of the way, until they allow you to say, instead of you having to buy $500 for a new console, how about we give you $150, we pull out your video card, you upgrade your video card. Until you get that way, consoles are going to always be behind. As far as feature set, I think all of the features that you would need or want to use on the PC, you can get on the console. There's mods now.
Yeah.
They're adding test servers. I mean, test servers were almost always exclusive to PC. Those are starting to move over.
You know what you can't do on a console is you can do on PC. Play online for free.
It's true.
That is very true.
That's true. That's 100% true, and that's not going to change at any time.
That's the thing that already changed for the worse.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to go back. I should say.
It's
definitely it's not going back. So when you look at where the console sits now, where the PC sits now, I think the biggest the biggest disadvantage for consoles is power and flexibility. I mean, there's no flexibility with a console that you have with a PC, and I don't think consoles will ever catch up if they can't somehow get that flexibility.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying. Like, it really all depends on what comes out of this generation, because this is the first time that we've actually tried doing something like this, like with a modular upgrade. Like, yeah, it's a new box, but it has all these extra features. It's more powerful, and it's in the same line of it's in the same line of consoles. And I think that like you said, that's one of the things that's holding it back. You can only make an Xbox One X game as powerful as an Xbox One version, as an Xbox One can handle.
No, that's
because they're not gonna have two separate like copies of the game to come out. It's gonna be for Xbox One.
No, but it's the same way as a game developed for Windows or a PC machine. It scales to your power, so that they make the game to reach the max level. And if you can't reach it, it's got settings, so it'll have low, medium, high settings, right? And it'll be 720, 1080, 4K. It'll have that scale setting. But instead of you going into your PC settings and doing it yourself, when the game is in there, there's going to be a script to automatically say, okay, this is Xbox One, so it only can be low settings, or this is Xbox One X, so it can be high settings. That's how that works. That's how it works on the PlayStation 4 right now.
Which is funny because you get those low, medium, high settings, but you can't control in what way you get the low, the medium, or the high. So you could end up playing a game on your Xbox One X at 4K resolution, but with awful textures and awful draw distance and awful anti-aliasing and like awful frame rate. You could just be like, I just want you know, 1080. My monitor doesn't even support this. I just want 1080p, but like good frame rate, good draw distance. Draw distance is the big one that the consoles will cut down on. Because that tends to that just scales really badly the further back you you put that draw distance. But like yeah, like so you even with that like low, medium, high classification that you get with Xbox One, Xbox One X, there may be developers who feel the need to let you customize, and then really where does the difference go at that point?
Right, what you're saying, they have that option again. Both Sony and Xbox allows for a developer to let you tinker with how you want the game to play. You can maybe change the frame rate, or you can change the resolution. It's not going to be
it's not going to be as in depth as choosing like what type of anti-aliasing you want,
exactly,
what kind of filtering, draw distances and stuff like that.
Right.
Unless some game decides to come out with that, you know.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, but those abilities are up to the developer. Those abilities are there. It's up to the developers to use them, and whether or not a gamer. Because again, and I'm a console gamer, and the rest of you console gamers don't take this as an insult. Console gamers are a lot simpler. They don't really look to, or maybe not even know how to go in and mess with these settings. Whereas a PC gamer, that's one of the first things they do. Once they get the game installed, once they get the game installed, they're going to the settings and they set up the game exactly to the way they want it to set up, the way they want it to play based on the rig that they have.
Let me agree with you from a different perspective to make the opposite point. I'm a PC developer, and you're right. Console developers are also simple people. They like developing for one console with one set of statistics that will run with one set of settings that they don't have to worry about tinkering about, and they don't have to worry about edge cases with. When you end up taking that one and splitting it into three, and then asking them to create two customizable sets of graphics options for why are they not just developing for PC as well? The only reason for them not to is for exclusivity rights. And like before, that wasn't always the case. Before, especially if you go the further back, you go like to the Super Nintendo to the PS2 days. The reason people developed for console was because it was easier. It was just so much simpler.
Yeah.
You put it on a cartridge, you stick in the cartridge, it runs.
you put it on the disc,
you stick the disc in the jank, and it runs. And then for PS3, and you asked how much longer until consoles and PC gain parity. I'm gonna say negative however many years it's been since PS3 because that was hardware-wise, that was when we gained parity. From the moment you could install Linux on your console, a personal computer operating system on your console, they lost any kind of deviation that they had. Anything else is just a design choice from the creators of the console to try and make them seem like they're not just selling you PCs that are rebranded with less functionality. Like, that's exactly what they've been doing. And PS3 was a little bit on the edge because there was some architectural differences there. They had a PowerPC architecture, a CPU that you couldn't just port to PC back and forth easily. Like it was a completely different, fundamentally different architecture.
One of the big issues with a lot of the PS3 versions of a lot of games.
And that was back in the day when a port meant that you actually had to recreate the game from scratch. And ever since that generation, since PS3 onwards, that hasn't been the case anymore. Now a port is just, okay, you use the same engine probably, and you just, change the menus around, you change the aesthetics around, you change the user interface around, and you add some customizable graphic settings, and bada bing, bada boom, you're on PC now.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I lost my thought.
Yama coming through, making his point, just blew everybody's mind.
It's a good point. He's right. I can't disagree with what he said. And like he said, when the hardware makers, Xbox, Sony, even Nintendo for that matter, when they start locking down their system where you're not allowed to do with it what you want, it can never be a PC. It won't have parity.
Right.
With a PC, because I can take a PC, whether I buy one off of that's a prefab one from Best Buy, prefab Dell from Best Buy, or if I go to Newegg and Micro Center and piece my PC together. At the end of the day, when I get it home, I can do whatever the hell I want to it. Put whatever software I want in it, put whatever hardware I want to it, be it controller, webcam, whatever.
I was just playing a game called Yo Noid 2, the sequel to Yo Noid 1. The game that featured the Domino's mascot, the Noid, on my PC.
Why?
This isn't a game that exists. It was not sanctioned by Domino's. It was not made by the people who made Yonoid 1. It was made as part of an indie game jam with Unity, and it was an amazing like 3-level long game that was made in like a few days by like some people that nobody even knew how to make games. I read an article about it on Reddit. I clicked the link, I downloaded it, and I played it within like 30 seconds, and I was like, wow. I'm glad I had that experience.
Right.
But like it's these kinds of things that people take for granted when they say like, oh yeah, a console can do everything a PC can do.
Right.
Like there's a lot of things that there's a lot of experiences that you can only get on PC, if only for the fact that it's actually in a lot of ways a lot more difficult to get your game on console. If a developer wants to get their game on console these days, they want either some sort of exclusivity bonus that the platform is willing to give you, or they want some kind of a marketing bonus that they're willing to give you, like put you on the front page of their storefront or something like that.
Right.
By the way, check out Yonoid 2.
Yonoid 2.
It was I highly recommend it. It was actually a very slick platformer. It was a 3D platform.
The original game, if I'm not mistaken, was a free giveaway with
like a Domino's like
pizza
deal.
Yeah, Domino's deal. Yeah, it was a free giveaway. If I'm not mistaken.
You get your Domino's pizza. There's just a disc in the pizza.
Right.
Like, all right,
take to the top of the box. Yonoid. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I'm looking at footage right now. It looks amazing.
Oh, there's like an intro cutscene where like the developer just puts on a Yonoid costume. He's just like acting stuff out, like Yonoid lost his yo-yo. Oh no.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that discussion. Let us know what you guys think. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? I'm not sure how you could, because y'all made the most excellent point there at the end. But let us
play Yonoid 2.
Yeah, that's the conclusion of everything. Will PC and console have parity? Play Yonoid 2. That'll answer all your questions. All your questions answered. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. Hit us up on our social media, on Facebook, on Twitter. You can leave comments in the comments section of the YouTube video or wherever you are consuming this media. And with that said, we'll go ahead and move on to our last segment, which is going to be our final thoughts. The final thoughts is where we go back and revisit any of the stories that we previously talked about and just give our final 2 cents. Mountlover, I'll let you go ahead and start.
Okay, well, I feel like there was a topic of conversation that we missed when we were talking about like the international and the world, the biggest esports scenes, and sort of like games that have the potential to make that kind of money. And I think we all just sort of glossed over ARMS.
Oh my fucking god!
I was really considered that. I think that if there's any title on the horizon that's going to break those records, it's not MOBA. I think ARMS is something to look out for.
ARMS is actually going to be at EVO Japan.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we'll see how. I am going to watch that. I'm going to watch that. Like I have to see it.
It's not balanced.
Yeah, I was like, what is high level ARMS play? Like, I don't know. Does it even exist?
That's no.
We'll find out. EVO Japan.
We'll find out.
Anything else?
That's all.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm very excited for Sonic Mania. That's going to be an excellent game. I've played through just about the entirety of the Sonic franchise in anticipation for the game, and I'm going to be giving away 3 copies of Sonic Mania the day before it releases. So on August 14th, I'm going to be having a live stream. I'm plugging, Boogie. Don't be looking at me like that. I'm shamelessly plugging. I saw the look. No. But yeah, going to give away 3 copies of Sonic Mania on August 14th. If you're watching us on Twitch or YouTube, that's how you watch. So tune in. Enter into the contest. There'll be a link in the description and all that jazz. But as far as the stories that we talked about, the other stories, I think it's, I don't know. I really think that the WNBA being, having the entire league in a game is a little like, I think that thing is just like past its prime. That would have had some major impact maybe like a decade ago. But now I feel like it's really going to fall flat. And then depending on the success of NBA Live 18, I don't know. It may just fall flat.
Yeah, but the WNBA now has more marketable stars than they did back
That is true. That is true. I
now
do.
we
I
got a
agree with
reason to market NBA Live on Tumblr. So I mean that's a selling point. Get that new audience going.
you. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I mean, I don't really have too much of an opinion on many of the other stories. Boogie, any of final thoughts from you?
Yeah, same. Just like you said, I thought the WNBA story that's way long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
And the international. I mean, I have a pretty good gaming PC here, Yama and Trenell. If you want to just rethink that Dota 2.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
We going in, boys. Dota 2 stream tomorrow. No,
but only what, like a few centuries late to the party.
Yeah, right.
That game.
No, the only other thing that I want to say is I'm waiting for O to draw up a weapon design and submit. I want to see your design, O.
Monster Hunter. Oh
yeah. He needs to go ahead and draw something.
Write the description. You can get an eye to create the actual design. Yeah, submit it. Go for it.
Yeah, go for it. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that was our final thoughts. We're gonna.
You didn't let me finish my.
That was all of our final.
That's
thoughts.
all our thoughts.
I hope you enjoyed us cutting the stream now.
No, go ahead. My bad.
The BioWare Montreal deal. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping the new Star Wars, KOTR, please. And then the Rocket League, I'm going to keep my eye on that because I want to really see if it's just some kind of automated algorithm that's just doing a basic, or if it's actual machine learning that's gonna monitor and police the chat rooms or the chat logs.
Yeah, because if they can make that work on Rocket League, there's no telling other games that they can clean up. I mean, Rocket League has been kind of just setting these milestones in gaming, being one of the first games that have gone across platform.
Absolutely right.
And now they're cleaning up the internet. It's like, Jesus Christ.
It just came out of nowhere and then took everybody by storm. Like, hey, check out this really fun game that's like nothing else that's ever been made. Hey, check out this rising esports scene that just came out of nowhere, like completely unprecedentedly. And check out this crossplay feature that hardly any other game has ever dared to even ask the question of. Like, everybody's been wondering, hey, when am I going to be able to play with my Sega Genesis friends on my Super Nintendo? Yeah, God knows when. Since the Commodores.
I'm just getting word. I'm just getting word. Nai has already submitted her design. We are in there, boys. We are in there. We are in there. Anything else, Todd?
No, I'm done. That's it.
All right, so that was our final thoughts. Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section or wherever you are consuming this media. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting app, we definitely want to thank you. Todd, why don't you let them know exactly where they can listen to it?
iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, and we are in the podcasting directory. So your favorite pod scraper, if you're using what do I use now? Overcast. If you use the podcast, most podcasting apps, if you use the Cast app on your Xbox, it'll find us a weekly gaming news show or the call letters, AWGNS.
Yo, I'm really about to get down on some Noi too after this podcast is over.
Gonna stream it? I actually want you to stream it.
It looks dope. It actually looks pretty good. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Special thanks to our sponsor, the New Challenger Discord and New Challenger TV. Go to the website, join the Discord, and get good at your favorite fighting game. Also, I want to thank Mountlover for tuning in, or for not tuning in, but for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We love having you here, and we can't wait to have you back again. And yeah, we are your host. My name is Trenell.
I'm Todd.
And I am Yama, aka Mountlover. Can't forget about me, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to plug anything? I forgot. Plug stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, actually, I've recently been streaming a little bit more regularly lately, so check me out on twitch.tv/Mountlover.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Trails in the Sky lately. I might also stream some Street Fighter V stuff in the near future if I feel so inclined. And then of course I'm also always streaming I'm going to start streaming the Underdog tournaments at twitch.tv/New Challenger TV.
Yep.
And that's all I feel the need to plug for now.
Okay, so yeah, we are going to go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you all for tuning in. We will catch you all next week. My name is Trenell.
I'm Todd.
And we are out of here.
Peace.
Peace.